Federal Drive is presented by GEHA, Government Employees Health Association, proudly providing health and dental benefits to federal employees and their families. Visit GEHA.com.
The Trump administration's Deferred Resignation Program this year led to more than 150,000 employees leaving their jobs in exchange for months of paid leave. But for many of those who took the DRP, the offer came with an added opportunity. Thousands also qualified for early retirement. Federal News Network's Drew Friedman spent the last several months conducting interviews, reviewing documents, and gathering data about federal retirement processing. She found that the DRP helped lead to a massive and unexpected surge in applications, now inundating the government's retirement systems.
Though many had not planned to, thousands ended up applying for retirement this spring as part of the Deferred Resignation Program, or DRP. Now, months later, that flood of applications has overwhelmed retirement processing across government. Many who took the DRP and separated in September are still waiting on their annuities right now, as agencies' HR offices try to manage unusually high application volumes. Rob Shriver, a former acting director at the Office of Personnel Management, summed up the experience as one of incredible frustration.
Agency HR officials play a critical role in processing individual employee retirement applications, making sure the employee has all of the right documentation, in addition to the huge volume of other workforce-related matters that have been initiated by this workforce. HR was already understaffed. Lots of HR people have now left, and they have an ever-increasing workload. So it's all piling up. It's all going to create backlogs.
But as both OPM and agencies work through that flood of applications, they're also anticipating a second wave of retirements later this month. Due to the DRP, OPM is already well above its typical retirement workload and seeing processing times continually slow down as a result. With retirement applications on track to surpass 140,000 this calendar year, OPM is facing the highest retirement volume in at least the last quarter century, possibly ever. But as that all comes to pass, OPM has also been working to modernize the paper-based retirement process with a new platform called the Online Retirement Application, or ORA. That effort, while long awaited for many, is also leading to some further questions.
There's some uncharted waters here.
Tiago Glieger is a federal retirement planning expert with RMG Advisors. He says the converging changes are exacerbating an already difficult situation.
OPM has not really handled A, this new system before, and B, this many federal employees retiring all at the same time. You have to remember, what's different here is now HR is swamped. There's tons of people retiring. There's less of them around to be able to do this, which is causing some of the bottleneck.
But according to OPM, having the ORA platform available this year has been crucial for managing both current and upcoming waves of retirement applications.
A surge like this would be extremely difficult for our legacy processing to work. It just wasn't built for something like this.
Kimya Lee is OPM's Deputy Associate Director for Retirement Services.
Despite record high retirement volumes this year, ORA is performing well in production. This gives us confidence as we prepare to continue to increase the retirement activities in 2025 and into 2026.
Still, many retiring through the DRP are reporting delays and frustrations as they wait for their annuities to get finalized. Federal News Network interviewed more than a dozen retiring employees, all at various points in the process and across several agencies. Most of the retiring employees that we spoke to, understandably, didn't want us to use their names. We've used some AI-generated voices to convey what they told us. Some say they're seeing errors on their applications, showing up in calculations for service history, high threes, and in some cases, missing documents.
I've been yanked around. The left hand didn't know what the right was doing.
Others say they're frustrated as they remain stuck in what they call administrative limbo, with little communication from HR offices and few answers.
It just felt like I was out on an island.
And some have yet to receive their annual leave payouts, something that usually tides over retirees financially until they can get an interim annuity.
We are literally stuck in limbo. No payments, no more checks. This is causing financial hardship for so many people.
Regardless of the situation, many still expressed appreciation for the HR specialists, who they say are doing their best given a difficult situation.
My heart is with the HR offices. They are overworked, underappreciated, and this is really the biggest test they've ever faced.
And as those retirees continue to wait, the typical end-of-year retirement flood that OPM is expecting will add to the workload, and as a result, likely lead to further delays in the processing timeline.
We're going to continue to just try to be as transparent as possible with people and, recognize that, look, this is, a very, very significant number of applications we're seeing.
Scott Cooper is director of OPM. He says the agency is adding overtime hours and temporarily staffing up in retirement services to deal with the flood. They're also trying to focus on delivering interim annuities to retirees as quickly as possible.
We're trying to get ahead of that and make sure that we can, be as responsive and make sure that we're attentive to the fact that we want to minimize the time it takes for somebody to be able to get, at a minimum, the interim payment so that they don't have any material interruption between, cash flow for themselves.
Despite OPM's efforts, some say the Trump administration's workforce disruptions across the entire year have ultimately heightened employees' uncertainty. At the National Active and Retired Federal Employees Association, or NARF, John Hatton has been tracking the workforce changes this year and hearing firsthand how that's impacting those who are trying to retire right now.
All the different disruptions from the administration, whether it's a shutdown, whether it's reductions in force, hollowing out agencies, hollowing out HR staff through a Deferred Resignation Program, that all could have a disruption on getting these files processed and over. That adds a little uncertainty in the process. Maybe they have plans for getting this done and getting it over, but certainly until it's done and files are transferred and everything's over to OPM, we're concerned that the agency side of the process is going to be difficult.
But in the short term, there's not a whole lot that retiring employees can do outside of simply being prepared for things to take much longer than usual. That's according to Tammy Flanagan, a retirement advisor at Retire Federal.
I would tell them just to keep watching, watch their mail for any communications from OPM, watch their bank account, because sometimes the money goes in the bank and you don't get a communication, you just see it show up. Be prepared that it may take longer because of the volume and the fact that, we've got all this new system with the ORA to implement. But I don't know what else they can do. I really don't.
Drew Friedman, Federal News Network.
You can find many more details in Drew's special report at federalnewsnetwork.com.